It's just going to be made up garbage.
It's come from a very good source.
Because I'm going to find out.
No, you're not.
And then when you... No, I'm going to.
Sorry, guys.
No, you're right.
We got it.
How are we?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Far away, I reckon. Just do your thing, Driz. Ready to go? Right, here it is. The long-awaited first ep of the brand new potty. It's been a while to get this show up and running, hasn't it, Drisco? But we're here, and you managed to just scrape in quite late, throwing another spanner in the works. But, yeah, we've gone from having the podcast room not ready. The men's program was behind schedule on another day, so we had to bin it then. Then I needed a day off, so I called in sick. And then finally, I had a washing machine dilemma at home, and I had to shoot off to get a new washing machine. So, bit of rain on the road, and we nearly had to cancel another one.
Also, that was a great summary of why the podcast has only started now. Just wanted to come in and say the actual name of our podcast is Better Down Back. So we finally got that done. And yes, Jord, your washing machine dilemma really got me. Harvey Norman actually doesn't close until 5, so I don't know why we had to dash off at about 1:30 that day. But anyways, here we are.
Cook dinner, walk the dog, plenty of excuses.
Lots to do at 1:30 on a Tuesday afternoon, apparently. But yes, I was late today. I'll take ownership on that. It's a rainy day and the roads were horrendous, and some of us have about 10 jobs to maintain. So, yep, here we are, 1:05.
Kudos.
No, I feel like it's going to be good. I think everyone's missed the old buck young bull, so I think we're going to be one up them, and even better to be able to collab with the women's program. How good.
Yes, big shoes to fill in being Dave's. Probably not so much Griff's, but anyway, as we do have the new name, there is a big defender focus on this pod, which finally is time to celebrate the defenders. I mean, the forwards kick the goals, the mids get the money, and the backs now get the name of the podcast. So, not too bad. And that means later in the show, we're introducing the McFarlane Medal, which we'll run through when we get to it. But you, the listener, actually can get involved via social media.
It's going to be great.
Throughout this season, we want messages, we want voice messages, we want photos, videos, whatever you want. Send them through.
It was actually great on the Instagram. When Brett posted the picture about pods coming back, I reckon your name was tagged at least 10 times to say, surely Jordan Clark is the host, and here you are. So you must take that as I don't need to pump your tyres any more than they're already pumped, but it's a pretty big compliment.
Yeah, could be a black line through me after this one, but we'll see how we go.
We'll wait and see. Anyways, shall we introduce our guest? Because I hate this such awkward dynamic at the start when the guest is sitting here and then we're chatting. So take it away with the intro. I've got a Wikipedia intro, but yours might be better.
Yeah, so I'll take the unofficial intro. I'll take the golden-haired surfer boy from Aquinas who's come home to Freo, and now he's one of the best wingers in the comp, in my opinion. Obviously, biased opinion, but you are, in my view. And that's Jeremy Sharp, nicknamed Jerry. Good friend of mine, played a lot of footy together, and it's back to be kicking the footy to each other. So, Jez, how does it feel to be the first one to sit down and get hold of the mic?
Yeah, well, absolute pleasure. Thanks for having me, Clarky, and the better Driz. So, stoked to be on.
Before we get into Jez, Sharpy, my favourite's Jerry, we got a new segment, and it's called Anchors in Action.
Hey, put on your Superman coat. It's Wolfie time. Let's go.
So in this segment, this is Anchors in Action, as I touched on. It's a segment where we highlight the good around the club. So it can be any person, anyone. It can be a stitch-up if you want it to be. But all in all, we want it to be someone you've nominated personally that you feel is doing a good job around the club. So, Em, you've already nominated yours. Who have you...
I think I've got 2. Oh, God. I'll just do one. So, Corey Morris, he is our strength and conditioning coach in the women's program, but he also works across the men's program. And I just wanted to highlight, obviously, the body of work that he's done with us girls in off-season, and I guess being able to split the role really evenly between both programs. I can't even imagine how hard that would be. So, Boris, incredible. Also, latest news, Boris is going to become a dad. His wife, Sarah, is pregnant. Don't know how they haven't got a divorce yet, because Boris spends most of his time with us. But how exciting. Go, Boris.
Very good from Boris. Who is your second, though? Just throw the name out there.
Ash Renshaw.
Okay.
I think Ash Renshaw's our lady on the desk. She does all of the football operations, management of the program. You always walk past those glass walls and see her tapping away at her laptop. She does a lot of work behind the scenes. But throw it to you guys. Give us a shout out. Let's keep it positive, I reckon, because we're going to stitch people up. So this can be the positive element.
We'll stay on that frame. But mine probably be Josh Corbett. I feel like all the stuff he does behind the scenes, and it's all unrecognised as well. And obviously the injuries coming back from, and with his hip and stuff, I think we're all pretty proud of how he's tracking. And it'd be such hard shoes for him to be in at the moment. Obviously not being able to kick footies and play games. So probably have to give it to him. He's been pretty good.
What a man.
No, that is a very good call. And mine is Dale Emery. So for those of you who don't know Dale, she's also the woman on the desk that pretty much, in the nicest way possible, wipes all the boys' bums, everyone around the club, does everything for them, makes sure everything's in place. And it's a thankless job at times. Whenever something's wrong, you always go to Dale, and probably doesn't get enough recognition when things are going really well, and it's a lot of that is on the back of her work. So, mine goes to Dale. She's an absolute gem in our football department, and I appreciate her for everything she does.
Absolutely love that. Yeah, that's off-field. Shall we talk about on-field and recap the game on the weekend? Friday night footy against Collingwood. Walyulup remains undefeated.
Thanks to the man himself here. Jerry, do you want to talk us through that moment?
We could have got 4 points, but we'll take 2. But, I think across the board, we're all really happy with how we're going in the men's side. And, obviously it wasn't the result we wanted, but I think across the board we're playing some really good football, and our brand's stacking up at the moment. So as a whole, I think it's a lot of positives. Obviously we've got RFIs in our game, but I think our game's in good shape, and each week I suppose we can go out knowing that we're going to put up a fight, and I think our form's been really good. So
yes, and you touched on Walyulup. Indigenous jumpers designed by Michael Johnson and his cousin Daniel McHenry. Thoughts on it, Em? Obviously we got to wear them, but
did they have a bit of red? I haven't actually seen them up close. They have a bit of red through them as well. I thought that was incredible.
Red and green. And then all the dots and the artwork was incredible. I loved it.
Yeah, told a very good story about their family and their connections to where they, grew up into the land. Their family was their history and that. So if I can encourage you to jump on and try and get a hold of that story about Jono and his family's and what the jumper represented, I strongly encourage you to do so. So
I really loved on the back, it actually had all of the past Indigenous players written there as well, female and male players. I think that's so special, and I hope they all got sent a jumper, but that was really cool.
Yeah, it's a nice touch, I suppose. Just brings all the Indigenous boys back into the jumper. And I think our club does it so well, in the sense we have got the most representation across the whole league. So I think it's important that we keep bringing everyone back onto the jersey and we sort of play for them.
And obviously there's been a few interesting questions coming out of the game. Obviously we're one of them. Another draw this year. We'll be very quick on this. Keep it as a draw, extra time. What are your thoughts, Em?
Oh, I'd like it to be extra time because that draw song they play post-game is absolutely horrendous. What?
Okay.
And then I think the vibe in the rooms after, I don't know, I actually don't think I've ever been a part of a draw, but what is it like? No one sings the song. I don't get it. It's just weird.
Well,
or are you happy to keep it the same?
We wanted to keep it short, but I think it's part of the game. I think there's a lot of rules that change in the AFL every year. It's probably one of the biggest games that changes a lot of rules. I love the draw.
Oh, I hate the draw.
I think we keep it. But you know what I think we add is add the draw song. I'm so for it. And for the listeners out there that haven't heard it.
And both teams sing it?
Yeah. It is an absolute banger.
No,
so we keep the draw and we play the song.
And we sing the song in the rooms. Perfect.
And we get in the middle of the ground and we sing it together.
What's the draw song?
Mate, it's unreal.
Oh, let's cue it here.
We got to play it. Yeah. If we can somehow play it, it is a great song.
It's terrible.
Sorry, and by no means am I having a dig at anyone for changing the rules. Obviously, it's a lot of stuff that we need to look after in the game. But I think the draw is a traditional part of our game. I reckon leave it as is.
Speaking on things that occurred in the game, like the draw song, the advertising, can we talk through Wharfie time? It was just like a scene of the Titanic had just played on the big screen when you guys were
we were just chatting
playing.
about it off there before. It is so good. And we've got to run with it because I feel like that it just engaged the crowd and just added like another dimension to the game. We look up at the scoreboard and Wharfie times come on.
Yeah. I remember looking up and going, someone upstairs made a blue here. You shouldn't be on.
Kelly Black is on the headset yelling at her events team.
Yeah, I thought someone's had a blue here. We're down by a goal. We're up against it, and they've put Wharfie time on.
Wharfie the ship.
Yeah,
no.
Looking back on it, I
like it.
Need more of it. But as we did touch on off air, apparently there is a fair criteria to why it gets played. And I think it's got to be inside the last 5 minutes, within a goal, something like that. Game's got to be tight. Atmosphere's there.
Right.
Well, maybe
so there's a criteria to why it gets played.
Maybe that's another thing we can run past the listeners.
Yeah.
We can maybe run a poll to see if we can keep Wharfie time or get some more Wharfie time up, because as a player, I absolutely loved it.
Yep. Get your voice messages in, because we want to hear what you have to say about Wharfie time.
Yeah, and we touched on moments throughout the game. One of my personal favourites, big Alex Pearce, the Moose, slotting up forward and getting on the end of one and going back and drilling it. What a moment. Points to the sky for his great mate, Cam McCarthy. How'd that make you feel, Sharpy?
Yeah, it was special. Like, obviously Cam meant a lot to the group and especially Moose. So to see Moose get that moment to celebrate for Cam, I think, we all loved it. And I was pretty close to him there at the time when he kicked it, and it was just so special. Like, you could see the emotion with Moose and what it meant to him. And as a teammate to see that, it certainly got me up and about. Such a great moment. There's so many good moments across the night, but that one really did stand out. Yeah,
it's a moment that changes the game, and we're all about celebrating defenders on this podcast. So thank you, Alex, AP, for putting us on the map.
Maybe we get him up there a bit more with the goal-kicking woes. What do you reckon, Em?
I reckon that would be phenomenal.
Another moment in the game, which I didn't actually see, but Caleb said he threw up 6 times in the last quarter. How exhausting do you find surge footy? Probably a bit of a weird question asking you, because you don't stop running and you never look puffed, you don't sweat, you're never tired, and you never miss a training. So
where's he thrown up 6 times?
Yeah, well, that's what I was when I read the thing. I was like, what do you mean? But surely people were seeing this. You were on the ground with him. I was going to
say, good number 6, but I don't know if there's a bit of mayo on that. We'll have to go back. We might have to check behind the goals vision. And if it's not 6, well, Caleb might be the next guest on the pod to explain himself.
That's disgusting. I have a fear of vomit, so I don't ever want to be around that.
But back on that, there is no harder working player on the ground than Caleb Sarong. And if he's vomiting, it just shows how much of his... how much of himself he puts on the line for this club and for this team, and how much he wants to win. So
left his guts on the field, quite literally. Perfect.
Bailey Banfield as well, the last quarter specialist. 7 of his 11 goals this year have come in the last quarters.
Wow.
It's an interesting stat that I did not know.
He's proven to be very clutch. He can pop up and kick some important goals, and he's been huge, especially on the weekend.
Yeah, and not often the most celebrated player on the ground. He plays a lot of roles that you, the listeners at home, probably wouldn't recognise, but he does at times this year when we've had injuries. He's played a bit of time in the back line. He's been on the wing. He's been doing it all.
Versatile.
And never complains, just always puts his hand up and does it to the best of his ability. So
Banners came to spoke to us girls about him being a role player and what it means to be a role player. Well, that needs to be thrown out the window, because he's kicking snags, and if that's his role, then I want that to be my role. Because that's crazy. He's been
playing
incredible.
An important role, absolutely. His form has been brilliant.
It's good to see you listen to his chat with Eminem and making it all about yourself and want to kick all the goals. Thought we were talking about roles here.
Role play. Well, his role at the moment is kicking goals in the last quarter, mate.
Right, I'm moving
you
on.
You haven't done it, have you?
I was about to say, put me in Jeremy's shoes on the weekend, I'll probably hosel that out on the full. So I'm glad I'm nowhere near the big sticks at the moment.
We have to bring up, he wants to speak about himself. He's waiting for it. We've got here Clarkey with 35. His dream team points have gone through the roof, and he's definitely looked at his highlights.
Yeah, but I just want to be like Banners too and kick all the goals. So.
No, we're meant to be celebrating.
No, I think it's I don't like talking about myself, but the team's going really well, and I think it's a credit to the coaches around me and my teammates for helping me out and become a better player on and off the field. And I'm certainly by no means the most polished player and the most perfect player, nor the best player, but my improvement has come from the coaches around me and the players that I run out with each weekend. So without those guys, I would be probably digging holes or something like that. So
Didn't
no.
realise this was a Channel 7 interview, but thanks for that. No, credit to you though, Jordan.
Yeah, I agree.
think,
And we
like,
all saw it in the off season.
we can pull the Mickey, but he's having a ripper season.
And we all saw it. Like you trained the house down through the off season, and now it comes the games, and we're all paying out for you. So it's been good to see, mate. Let's keep it up now.
Thank you. And then before we move on to grilling Sharpy and Jez, any stories behind the scenes? Anything going on that people need to know, want to know?
People want to know about game day behind the scenes, post game.
Yeah, post game. You have an interesting one post game. Tell the viewers where you took off to post game.
Yeah, post game a couple of times this year now, but I've just been scooting off down south, just straight after the game, just driving down south. Well, usually after the games, like none of us players can sleep, and you probably get that a bit as well. Like none of us can sleep, so like instead of just sitting at home, I tended like to drive down south and because it's winter time now, like we're able to light fires and stuff. And I'm pretty lucky with down south. We've got a property, so I've just been going down there.
So good.
It's been nice. Been a bit of a release, but it's a bit of a routine at the moment, so I might have to keep sticking to it.
Also, 2 Friday night games, then that would make sense.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
just go down for the
just
weekend.
Go down. So
where's the property?
Down in Binningup.
Yeah, nice.
So, it's been good fun. It's something a bit different.
Nice.
But
George, you get away back to Kensington?
Yeah, I did go. I'm the biggest homebody there is in the world. But yeah, I went home.
No. We got to discuss something. Well, now, what have you been doing at home?
I've got a veggie patch.
You started his veggie
patch. Yeah.
Where?
Yeah. Jesus, I got real. What do you mean?
I've gone, this isn't in the script.
Yeah.
No, you're a keen gardener now.
Yeah, I wouldn't say keen, nor the best gardener, but I do have a couple of little veggie patches where I have got my own little produce section, I suppose.
What are you growing, mate?
You're organic farmer.
Yeah, just living off the land.
He's going to be contacting
I'm fighting with the dog at the moment, trying to keep the dog out. So I've got these DIY fences, look tacky as all hell, but it's doing a trick for me at the moment. And I've got a bit of lettuce going.
Nice.
What else? Cauliflower,
Tomatoes,
cauliflower, broccoli.
Great.
Don't even eat tomatoes though; just looks good in the garden.
Yeah,
so
nice.
Beautiful.
Anyway, moving on.
We need a photo of that, by the way.
Oh,
we have to see the
absolutely.
DIY job.
Yeah, I'll need to spend a couple of
Anyways,
hours tidying things up before I send you a photo. Anyway, our guest. We're moving on. Sharpy, we've got a bit of information about you here, and we'd like to get into yourself and your move across to Freo, that sort of thing. And we'll go back to what's written at the top here because we do have some stuff to get into that's quite humorous later on. But you seem to be really enjoying your time at Freo. You're obviously going really well. You're back with your family, which I believe is very important to you. And also that celebration a few weeks ago was linked back to someone and a significant thing in your family. So you mind telling everyone, one, the move, why you came home, and then what the celebration was linked to?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, the move intentionally was always to get back to family and just reconnect with them, and just being back around family and friends, which you touched on, is very important to me. And to come to Fremantle, knowing you and Luke Jackson here already, and a lot of other boys as well that I knew in the past, but knowing that it was such a good club and the people involved in the organisation, it made the move like really easy. And as we all know, like just being in the club every single day, it's such a happy, fun environment, and it's a space where you can constantly just be getting better and being the best version of yourself. So yeah, the start of the season's been super enjoyable. It was nice that we started really well as well. But yeah, I've absolutely loved my time at Fremantle so far, and very grateful for all the support with the coaches, the playing group, and also the fans as well. They've also gotten around me, and just a bit overwhelmed with all the support so far. But the move's been unreal. And then obviously with my celebration a couple of weeks ago, threw up the big W, which was a bit random. I had people asking if it was whale up or the win.
It's Wharfie.
Or Wharfie time. But no, it was for my sister's wedding. She just got married last week.
Oh, lovely.
That was an occasion I was gutted to miss, but I was thinking about it as I was walking in to kick that goal, and I couldn't really do an S with my hand, so I had to get the W up. So it was a nice little gesture, but they didn't know at the time. They thought it was for like looking for the win or whale up Wharfie time. But I told them the next day, and she was really impressed by that little gesture. So yeah, it's good.
Very well done, and all the best to Sarah and Hamish.
Yeah.
Nice.
Very nice.
He's done his research.
I have. You have spoken about your role. Obviously, you've come into our team, slotted seamlessly into the wing role, and it's a very unforgiving role, very thankless role. You don't get a lot of the ball at times. Some weeks you do get a lot of the ball. A lot of running. Talk to us about your role and how do you manage the ups and downs of your role? Obviously, impact on games can differ.
Yeah, well, as you know, I suppose you played a bit of wing, but yeah, you touched on it. Like, it's unforgiving, but no, it's a role that I'm really loving at the moment. And like in our team, we're all about just playing your roles. And I suppose we touched on banners before, but that's what makes a good team. Like, everyone's just got to do their thing. And at the moment, for me, it's just running up and down that wing and just trying to do the best of my ability. But yeah, it's been really fun, and I suppose it helps as well if we're playing a good brand of footy and. Like you on the half back, but also our mids doing the thing. They're doing so well in there as well. They give me some opportunities, but yeah, it's been really enjoyable, and let's hope that I can just keep playing some good footy and just keep playing my role. But yeah, as you said, like it's not about just getting 30 out there. It's what you do with it as well. So just got to keep working on little things. But yeah, it's been good fun.
I guess just touching on running. Obviously, Sharpy, you've always been an incredible runner. In the off season this year, though, you got to run alongside Peter Bowl. Talk us through that experience.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, like obviously coming in, like, you know, you got to get your time trials and you got to do all that sort of jazz. But I suppose we had that meeting in the morning and we're all nervous as hell. But when Peter walked in, we're just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
We're going to be running with this bloke. And yeah, obviously we did in the end. But yeah, it was a cool experience. Yeah, to say you ran next to Olympian was really cool, and let's just hope he can get gold for us this coming Olympics. But yeah, I've reached out to him a couple of times post that, and so just said thank you for doing it, and also wished him all the best as well. Yeah, let's hope he can get some medals in Paris.
Yep,
amazing. And before we touch on, Jord has got some gossip on you.
Yeah, beautiful.
Can we just quickly recap, for any new listeners or anyone that doesn't know your story, Sharpy, your football journey? So obviously you were born and bred in Perth, Aquinas boy, as we mentioned at the beginning, also then an East Fremantle product. Talk us through how you then were drafted to Gold Coast and then made your way back here.
Yep, so yeah, East Fremantle boy, yeah, sort of did all the ranks through there, the Colts and all that sort of stuff. And then yeah, got to play a bit of rep footy as well, which was nice. Played with Geordie for an 18s championship, which was good fun. But yeah, then was drafted to Gold Coast at pick 27, which was a dream come true. That night was really special, and I had Dewey come and present me my jumper that night as well, which was a great moment for the whole family and myself. But yeah, spent 4 years over there and living on the Gold Coast. It was a dream location to live on. Like, it's such a beautiful place, and yeah, very grateful for everything that happened over there. I think I learned a lot about myself and living away from home and how to look after yourself. But yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world. Like, now being where I am and playing the footy that I am, I think all the things that I have been through has built me into the person I am today. So yeah, still keep in contact with all the boys over there, and very grateful for all the relationships that I've built, and yeah, keen to be in purple now.
Love it, and you're killing it. But, I mean, some off-field stuff probably needs to be worked on.
Yeah, yes. No, that's exactly right. We'll start with the story that happened only a couple of weeks ago. You and Luke Jackson wanted to go visit the Nike store, I believe, in Melbourne. We're in Melbourne. We're at the hotel. There's no cars. Just wanted to nip over to the Nike store. JL has a car, but has a meeting or an appointment. I'm not sure what it is. We'll call it an appointment.
Yep.
Within, an hour and a half or something of you boys wanting to go to the Nike store. So they ring him up, ask for his keys. JL does the nice thing and says, here's my keys. Don't put them at reception. I need them back. Got somewhere to be. And what did you do? Who are you blaming it on here? What did you...
This is on Dogger. So your sources, this is on Dogger. So yes, you're very right. We wanted to go to the Nike store and we reached out to JL because it was his car. And the great man, he's got a 300 series sitting out the front and we needed to drive it. So we did ask him, and yeah, Dogger was driving. But then we brought the car back on the time it needed to be back. But Dogger then took the keys up to his room.
Room or reception, where someone else grabbed the keys?
Oh, yeah.
Which JL he did instruct you, I believe, not to put the keys back at reception. He needed them back.
Yeah, so Doggers put them at reception. And someone's then snagged the car. And
let's hope JL didn't have to go to a selection meeting post.
So then poor JL, because then he's had to Uber and he's probably up against it. He's late.
Yeah.
Stressed. You said poor JL. I actually think this also could be on JL for trusting Luke Jackson and Jeremy Sharp with his keys. Like, I don't know. Like, do you trust your players that, like, what do we...
Well, I love that he is trusting us.
Yeah, it's brilliant, but it's like you've then cooked it.
Yeah.
So you're not
But
sure.
anyway, so we've sort of got to the bottom of that. Yeah, I think it's both of your fault. There's no one we can blame. Well, I have some... You touched on the Gold Coast before. Drafted there, fresh out of school. Washing your clothes. You didn't do a whole lot of washing for the first chunk of your time in the Gold Coast, I believe.
Wow.
Is that because you didn't know how to wash them?
It's such good sources, mate. I'm actually impressed because it's so right. Yeah, so I was living with Dave Swallow for the first probably 2-3 weeks, and I was too embarrassed to ask him at the time. Dave being Dave, he's got a bit of a presence about him, but like I never really wanted to ask him. So like every single day after work, I'd sort of just like lay my clothes out on the floor, and like that didn't smell good, but like I ran with that for like a couple of weeks.
No.
So like I never asked him to wash my clothes, and if he does listen to this, he'll be laughing because literally it was all on the floor, and just didn't wash my clothes.
You've never used a washing machine?
Never used a washing machine up to that point.
Like your parents had done it for you?
All done it for me. Yep. So just really, it was quite embarrassing.
Yeah. I don't think that's the most embarrassing story though.
Oh, okay, we're ready.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
When you were younger, family trip around Australia in a caravan.
Yeah.
You were young at the time and you decided that you'd go outside and practice your bush dumps in the backyard.
Oh, no way.
Is there any truth to this story?
Who stole this?
Is there any truth to this story?
So good. Well,
You're only young.
It is true.
So
it is true, and it's quite disturbing to think, but I actually did it outside my parents' room. So
No, stop. How could you're only young? He was actually 17. No.
I mean, you had to practice, but in your backyard, probably not.
Outside your parents' room.
I don't need to, we don't need to go into any more depth on that one. And there's one more final one.
Yeah.
Younger child, end of year footy, sort of wind up. I don't know what it was. Consumed too much bread.
Yep.
Ended up constipated and had to be taken to hospital. Is this true?
It's also true. It's also true. Yeah, so I was at it was my younger brother's like footy trip, and they went down to the farm, and like the dads have like organised like a massive like sausage barbecue sort of set up, and there was a heap of buns on the side, and that night I was still hungry, so I've just absolutely tucked into like these buns, and got probably 4 or 5 down. I kept going, and then the next day I woke up, and I kid you not, I couldn't move. Just couldn't move. I tried to go to the toilet. Literally tried my hardest, couldn't get it out, and then that day I had to go to hospital. Just had to get it fixed. Yeah, and interesting situation that. But next question.
No more on the goss there. So very well done. You very good sauce. Great sauce.
I actually think this might be like you've set the bar really high. I don't know if we're going to be able to find
when
that.
When I threw the line out, wanting some just a little bit of humorous sort of mail on you, and I got that sent back to me. I went, gee whiz, that's more than I wanted, but I will take that and run with it. So,
that's brilliant.
Well done. You're a very funny human.
That's great.
It's going to take
Do
a
we
lot
have to get some dirt on this plate?
No.
Surely
There's
I'm
no
going to
need
have
for
to.
that. This is my segment, mate.
Okay,
so
This might contact Russ Clark, Perth CEO, for a few digs on Jordan.
he doesn't return calls, so don't worry about it. Anyway, prepare yourself for this one, Sharpy. You probably get to return serve, or you get to answer a few questions. This is our new segment called Getting Defensive.
I don't like Fred. I've never liked Fred. Nah, that's a lot of feedback on Twitter, so I don't like. I'll take that back.
All right, this is Getting Defensive. It's essentially quick fire questions, so I'm going to hammer some at you, Sharpy, and then get back as quick as you can. Alrighty, worst thing about having a locker next to Luke Ryan?
His boots. He has way too many boots in his locker, and he's got to sort that issue out because the boots are flying everywhere at the moment.
Fair. Best dressed teammate?
Oh, definitely not Fifey. He rocked up to the club the other day in big boots.
No.
Definitely not him. I'd probably go Rick. Yeah.
Yep, nice. Favourite board game?
Canasta.
I don't even know what that is.
No.
Oh,
No.
board game. Sorry. Go chess. Chess.
What's
What's
canasta?
A card game. Unreal. Got to play
What
it.
do you
So
mean?
it doesn't
Okay.
quite meet the board game criteria.
No. We'll go chess.
Bring it in, all right. Death row meal.
Chicken palmy.
Yep, nice. Last time you called your mum.
Called her yesterday regarding dinner.
What are you most afraid of?
As a kid, like, I was always afraid of, like, getting stuck under, like, a pool mat. Bit random, but, like,
No, that's actually
yeah,
valid.
like, it was a
Drowning.
massive thing. Like, drowning was, like, a massive thing for me. Like, I was always scared of it. And now, like, love surfing in the ocean now. Like, it's never a thing that crosses my mind. But, yeah, probably, like, being stuck under a pool cover.
Certainly wasn't afraid of going to the toilet outside your parents' bedroom. No, that's good. Coffee order.
A long black.
Pre-game superstition.
Probably dried mango. It's been a massive thing this year at the club. But,
Wow, yum.
Dried mango.
Did you get around that?
Nah, too much fruit, too healthy for me.
Best junior footy moment.
Best footy junior. Probably. We won the plate final, so we didn't make Division 1. We were in Division 2, and we won the Division 2 final, which was pretty cool. With a lot of my good mates, I'm still mates with today. Against a pretty good team, against Trent Rivers' team, Bull Creek Gleaming.
So cool. Who'd you play
beat
for,
them.
sorry?
Played for the Adelaide Bombers.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Name another team you follow in another sport.
So I follow the Los Angeles Lakers in the basketball. Absolutely love them, and LeBron James obviously is like big player there, and like to watch them. They're pretty frustrating to watch, but yeah, probably them.
Yep, beautiful. And last but not least, biggest name following you on Instagram. Peter Ball.
Yeah, probably Peter Ball. Ethan Ewing, I reckon, a surfer
nice.
that I really like. Probably him.
So good. Love it. There you have it.
So now we're moving on to a new segment, a new one, which is called the McFarlane Medal.
Oh, Luke McFarlane right on half-time. It's McFarlane! And Leaper McFarlane!
Yes, so at the end of the year, we're going to be dishing out something that we've named the McFarlane Medal. I don't know what it will be, what the prize is, or anything like that, but it is effectively going to be the highlight of your favourite, most best defensive play act from the weekend, or at this current time, previously this year, and obviously named after one of the best defenders in the game, but certainly one of the best defenders we've ever seen in Freo history, Luke McFarlane. So do you guys have one off the top of your head that stands out to you?
Yeah, for me, on the weekend, Luke Ryan's tackle on the wing.
Yeah, huge.
I think that's got to be up there.
Jordan, I'll give you one. Your contest that you made deep, ball gets kicked in, and then Luke Ryan was tracking back with you, and then you ended up exiting it. It was in your highlights package that the club just posted. You're never going to get another one from me, so I'd just cop it. But that was pretty good. Loved it.
How about you, Geordie?
I'm not going to go from the weekend. This one just sticks in my mind as clear as day. Sam Switkowski's Superman smother round 1 on Joe Danaher.
Yeah.
I just don't think
Get
that
the
can
vision
be
up.
beaten.
Yeah, 1%ers.
Yeah, it's probably the best smother I've ever seen.
Yeah, it
There you
does
go.
stand out.
We'll keep ranking them throughout the year, and hopefully we haven't bored you up until this point in our first podcast on debut. So how to get involved in the show, Em? Let us know, all the fans know, how they can get involved.
All right, so as we've mentioned, we want to hear from you, whether that's a comment on our Instagram posts, whether that's liking, subscribing to the podcast, which we will have on Spotify and on the podcast app. If we put up an Instagram story, we'll put links in there, so please get involved that way. Otherwise, you can Instagram DM us as well. But media team has pushed for that voice memo. We want to hear from you, quite literally. So tell us what you think of the show, ask us a question, and give us an idea of what you want on the show.
Last but not least, Sharpy. A huge weekend ahead in Alice Springs, Melbourne. Ever been? What are we expecting? And what are you looking forward to?
Yeah, so I've never been. I think a lot of boys in our team haven't been before, so it's a bit of a new experience for everyone. We were pretty lucky this morning. We had Luke Jackson give us an insight, and he gave us heaps, didn't he?
Yeah, so it goes along the lines of something like this. I'll be JL, you be Dogger.
Yep.
Luke, what's it like playing at Alice Springs? What's it like in the background?
Yeah, it's pretty beautiful.
That's all he gave us. So
you're lying.
on the back of that feedback, I think we're primed and ready to go, and we shouldn't have any queries with the Alice Springs setting. So, but no, I'm personally
I'm
looking
pumped.
forward to just something different. Obviously, you go to Melbourne every second weekend usually and stay in the same hotel. It's not much to look at. Chapel Street, just cars flying up and down, that sort of thing. People everywhere.
But I also think it's like it's an opportunity for our football club to showcase a game in Alice Springs and like get around the town that has been struggling, and I suppose we can just shine a bit of a light up there and see if we can impact a bit of the community and play just a good game of football and just engage everyone in that small little town.
Yeah, I think that's it. Hey, like engage the fans, and by moving around, it obviously encourages people from different demographic, different areas of Australia to get around. Obviously, us here in Perth, which I think is really important. And again, it should actually be beautiful. I wonder what the weather's going to be like though. It can be quite humid.
It's a mild 20 degrees.
Yeah, nice.
The weather's not too hot, but at night time it's rather cold. Apparently.
Okay, so there you go. Well, looking forward to seeing how you guys go.
I'm no weather guru, but that's what was presented to us this morning, so do not hold me to that. Anyway, in closing, just to wrap it up, Em, we got the first one out the way, but any direct feedback, any stuff we need to work on, I'm sure there'll be a truckload. Let us know. Sharpy, have you got any direct feedback?
No, it's going to be good fun. I think you touched on it before. Let's try to get everyone involved. Let's try to get all the Freo supporters and fans engaged in this, because I think we all love a good podcast. So let's get stuck into it. Keep the comments coming through, and I think let's just keep driving this thing.
Great, love the energy.
Yeah, and a big thank you to you as well. First guest, you're going really well at the moment. You fit in really nicely at the club, and you're certainly one of my favourite teammates. So I think you'll quickly be becoming one of the fans' favourite players as well. So good stuff. You're going really well, and keep it up.
Thanks, Geordie.
We've loved having you, and we'll see you next week on the Better Down Back podcast.